Hello everyone watching on YouTube and welcome back to more Tales of Grace's F. Let's load back up the game. Last time we had that heart-to-heart with Asbel and Sophie where Asbel was like, hey, don't kill yourself, and Sophie was like, okay. I understand what it means to be sad when someone dies now, or something along those lines. You got anything for me to turn in at the requests? We need a music box. That little brat stole my precious treasure and hid it. Help me find it. I don't have time for this tomfoolery. Do I have to find a music box? Can't I just make one? I feel like I should be able to make one, but I don't know. I was asking chat before we started here if it would be a good idea to focus hard on side quests. Go to Lhant Hill, I can do that. If it would be a good idea to focus hard on side quests before we end the main story. But after we finish the main story, we get Richard back, so I was wondering if maybe I should wait on doing some side quests and instead focus on the main story, and then we can, like, really focus on side quests in the post-game when we have Richard with us. I believe some Chapter 8 side quests can't be done during Chapter 9, which is the post-game story, but they can't be missed, they just can't be done during Chapter 9. I would recommend doing some before the final dungeon. None of them are missable, but you can't do the Chapter 8 side quest with Richard in the party as he's only playable in Lineage and Legacies, which is a separate thing in the game. You can take your save between the two, but the side quests of the main game aren't in Lineage and Legacies. That's really weird game design, but alright. I know that, like, Lineage and Legacies, which is quotation marks Chapter 9, quotation marks the post-game, was added on to the PS3 version. It wasn't in the original version of Tales of Graces. So I guess that's why, but still kind of weird.
Is there something special about the Meadow?
All three types of ellis gather there.
There are really places like that?
Wait, is something like that unusual?
Because of the Valkanus, some areas tend to just overflow with elephant stuff.
Huh. It all makes sense now. I guess that's why the flowers bloom there year-round.
Yes, exactly. When I first fought Lambda ages ago, I decided to sleep there in order to regenerate the ellis I lost in the battle.
And then, Asbel and I came along and woke you up 7 years ago, correct?
No, I awoke because Lambda had become active again.
Nice try, Hubert.
Well,
Get absolutely destroyed, Hubert. By facts and logic. Okay, so now my follow-up question, now that I've been told how the Chapter 9 Lineage and Legacy shenanigans works, is, do I need to finish every Chapter 8 side quest before I finish the main story? Because I want to go from finishing the main story straight into Lineage and Legacies. Ideally. It's really annoying if you go to the Lineage and Legacies, which is where you get to have Richard back in the party, you can, like, only do Chapter 9 stuff. You can't do anything else that was in the game up until that point, if that is how it works. Very annoying.
First, I'm going to absorb the ellis here, and then I'll share it with you. This will let us combat the effects of Lambda's mind. Let's begin.
Okay, chat is confusing me. Hold up a second. You don't need to finish all the Chapter 8 side quests. Any you don't finish will still be progressed as far as they are when you swap back to the main game after finishing Lineage and Legacies. Now I'm confused. I was under the impression that when I finished Lineage and Legacies, this playthrough is over. Like, when I finish the story, my goal is to finish the playthrough by finishing Lineage and Legacies.
It's like standing in sunlight.
Yes.
Sophie.
Okay, we should be ready now.
Sophie has given us the power we need to face Lambda in our final showdown. If we use it wisely, there will be no need for Sophie to be sacrificed.
Yeah, I'll be all like, bow! And then Lambda will be all like, no!
I don't think that's what Lambda will say.
We're all in this together, Sophie. So just promise that you won't do anything foolish.
All right. Let's do it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
You can do that, but there are a few Chapter 8 quests that are higher leveled, so I always do Lineage and then go back to the main game for the last quest or two. I understand that, like, Chapter 9, aka Lineage and Legacies, was added on to Tales of Graces after the game was already completed, but it sounds like the developers really bungled it. Like, including it. Really feel like they should have just, like, when they made the PS3 version of the game and included that extra chapter at the end, they should have just made it work instead of having to jump between the two different versions of the game. That's kind of like, it's kind of like really annoying.
Sharia, might I inquire about something?
Why are you talking like that? I mean, it's cute, but it's freaking me out a little.
It's how Hubert talks. I thought if I did the same thing, you'd be more likely to answer.
Huh?
Sharia, if you're in love with Asbel, why don't you just tell him?
Where did you hear that?
The captain just told me yesterday.
I heard a scream. What's going on?
This doesn't involve you, Asbel. Get out of here!
Why? What did I do now?
She loves him, but she's angry. Is that what she meant about people being angry because they're sad? Feelings are difficult.
I know what you're thinking, Sharia. The more human-like she becomes, the more difficult her behavior can be to handle.
No, that's not what I was thinking at all.
Poor Sharia. Poor Asbel. That was a good one. Oh, I like that skit. I thought if I talked more like Hubert, you'd be more likely to answer me. Where'd you hear that, Sophie? The captain was just telling me. Everyone knows about it. Oh, man. So, from what... Wait a minute. Are we going to get a cutscene right here? Where's it? Prepare in lawn. Okay, we got to go back to lawn. So, from what chat is telling me, apparently we have to finish the post-game storyline and then jump back to... like, Chapter 8, like, go backwards in time to finish the rest of the game, like, side content, which is really dumb, but I guess there's no real way around it, because otherwise it sounds like I'll end up over-leveling while doing side quests, and then the post-game section will be, like, a joke. So that's really stupid, but I guess that's how we're gonna have to do it. Really annoying that I'm not gonna be able to finish the game on, like, the post-game storyline, and instead I'm going to have to finish it on... some random side quest number 48, but whatever.
We've been through a lot today. Let's rest up and meet in the square tomorrow morning. Sleep if you can, and make whatever preparations you require. Understood?
Yes, Captain. Understood.
Okay. I'm here now. My party is disbanded. Why am I always alone? I should really straighten this up. You've been saying that for the whole game, dude. You have to finish the post-game and then the story? No, no, no. We finished the main story, which was the original Tales of Graces. This is Tales of Graces F, which is the only English version. The original Tales of Graces was Japanese only. The Tales of Graces F was the English version, which was made for PS3 and is this game. We finished the main story. there is a post-game chapter that is, like, story relevant. It has storylines and stuff like that we will then do. After we finish that post-game storyline, we then have to switch back to Chapter 8, which is the chapter we're in right now, like, after beating the final main boss. So, you know, before Chapter 9, but after Chapter 8, which is the end of the main story. Chapter 9 is basically the post-game. And then we come back to Chapter 8 to do any more side content because the developers did it in a really stupid fashion, so you cannot do all of the side content in Chapter 9. Which is, it's confusing and dumb, and the developers should have done a better job of it, but what are you gonna do? It'll make sense as we actually do it. The final battle is tomorrow, you're right. Is this the, like, classic Tales moment where it's like, find and talk to all of your dear friends to get, like, moments with them before you go fight the final boss? Where could everyone be? Surely Hubert or someone must have been in here, like, in Dad's office, right? You would think. Pardon me. You in here, Hubert? I'm a genius.
Can't sleep, Hubert?
I could ask the same of you.
Who sleeps in this day and age?
But as you're here, there's something we should talk about. When this is over, I'm going to ask the President of Strata to withdraw his forces from Lhant. If he agrees, you will become the Lord of Lhant in both name and deed. I trust you find this acceptable.
Hubert, you would do that?
I've thought long and hard about who should be entrusted with Lhant, but in the end, you're the only real choice. However, at the moment, this idea ends with me. I do not know how the President will react.
I understand, but I'm still grateful. Thank you.
The next time I visit Lhant, I'll come as family. After all, people will rest easier if someone is looking over your shoulder. You have no idea how much trouble it is having you as an older brother.
I can only guess.
Enough. I should rest.
Sleep well, Hubert. I wonder if everyone else is asleep.
Let's find out. I feel like I want to preface this by saying I love Tales of Graces. This is a really great game. I enjoy it a lot. I feel like the character they probably dropped the ball the most with, though, is Hubert. He's, like, really annoying at the start of the game where he's all against Asbel and up in his business and stuff. But that moment right there where he was just like, oh, you'll become the Lord of Lhant, I'll request that we get removed and all, it kind of feels like there wasn't, I don't know. I feel like they didn't do well with showing Hubert, like, getting past his anger at his father and his mother and the grudge he held against Asbel. I feel like Hubert kind of just, like, decided to get over it at some point. He kind of, like, in the background. Oh, wait, hello.
Hubert, what are you doing here?
Oh, maybe they're about to do a little bit better with it right now. But, I definitely feel like of the main cast, Hubert and then probably Sophie are, like, the lowest tier ones for me. But I love Asbel, Richard, Malik, and Pascal and Sharia are pretty good. But I was just thinking as that happened, I was like, I feel like Hubert is the character they, like, didn't do enough with. I feel like they didn't do enough to, like, show me his growth in getting over it as much as I would have liked. Maybe they'll do a little bit better here, but I mean, this is the very tail end of the game, so it still won't have had much build-up for me personally, but still.
Is it wrong for a son to visit his mother?
No, not at all. I'm very pleased to see you. Would you like some tea? Frederick has just brought back the most wonderful blend.
Tea would be wonderful.
Good. I'll go prepare some right away.
Thank you, Mother.
Yeah, see, like... Also, Mercy, I don't think I said hi to you earlier. Hey, Mercy, how's it going? I feel like Hubert, like, I understand his entire character arc. I understand how he was where he was, and then he got over it, and I understand where he is now, where he's, like, moved past his grudge, and he's, like, okay with Asbel and his mother and all. But I feel like they didn't really show Hubert getting to that point very much. They didn't really show him being like, this is why I've moved past it, and, like, this is how I was able to get over it, etc., etc. He just kind of, like, did, like, in the background, or, like, sort of, quotation marks, off screen. And, like, I get how his character got to where it did, but they just didn't really show it very much, which is, you know, kind of disappointing. Especially since, considering of the main cast, Hubert was already my least favorite. I don't think he's a bad character, I just feel like they didn't, I feel like they didn't show enough of his growth past that point. They kind of just, like, had tiny moments here and there, and then we're just kind of like, hey, dude, you know, you get it. You understand Hubert, right? We don't have to actually show you any of the character growth. You can just kind of understand how he got there, etc., etc.
Asbel?
It's late, Sophie. What are you doing up?
Ooh, this music!
When will the Sopharias become a blossom gale?
I don't know. We might have to ask my mother. She used to love tending the garden. Although, I don't think she's been here since Dad died.
Did you just say your... Wait. Did you just say your mother... I was looking at chat slightly during that. Did you just say your mother has not been here since your dad died? Your mother, like, it's literally outside the front door. Has your mother not left this manor since your father died? How could she not have been there? It's literally 4 steps out the front door. I've never seen a back door to this place. There's no other way for her to get out unless she's jumping out of windows. What do you mean she hasn't been there since Dad died?
She says there's no one left to enjoy the flowers. I never knew my father liked flowers at all.
Can I ask something? Are you sad that your father died?
It's complicated. I've been avoiding thinking about it. His death meant that we never got the chance to understand each other. I'm sure we'd have been able to if he was still around. So, yeah. You could say I'm sad about that. I guess I'm better at solving other people's problems than dealing with my own. Anyway, once everything's over, we'll come back here. Maybe then we'll be able to see the Blossom Gale.
When we come back.
Yeah, so we have to make sure we survive, right?
I want to see the Blossom Gale with you. I mean it.
I know. I'd like that too. It's really late. You should get some sleep.
What about you?
I'll sleep soon, I promise. Good night, Sophie.
Okay. Good night.
We're all coming back. All of us, including Sophie and Richard. Is it really so crazy to hope?
Not when you're an anime protagonist. Why do Asbel's sleeves have so many dang buckles? Character designer probably asked Tetsuya Nomura for some help. Seems like something you do. They finally fixed these dang fountains. I think the biggest reason why Hubert changed was because of Pascal, how she saved him when he was calling her a spy and all. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm not saying that, like, Hubert's change of heart doesn't make sense or anything like that. That's why I'm not saying he's a bad character. I'm saying that the story did, or not really the storyline itself, but I'm saying the writers did a poor job of showing it. Hey, Malik, can I talk to you from down here? If you don't mind, would that be too awkward? But I'm saying that, like, the writers did a poor job of showing Hubert having that transformation and growing as a character. Like, it was there in the background, but they didn't really show it happening very much. It was just kind of like, yeah, it happened. Like, you can understand why he's not a dick anymore, right? We're not gonna, like, go deep on it, but, like, you get it. Which I think is a bit of a shortcoming, personally.
Still awake?
Yep.
No, I'm sleepwalking.
Captain Malik, I don't want Sophie or Richard to die. I want to save them both. Is that asking for too much?
Also, the main reason I brought up the whole thing with Hubert is not me trying to trash Hubert or the game in any means. I love this game and it's great, and like I said at the start, I do not think Hubert is a bad character. But when we get to the end of the game or whatever, and I'm like, people are like, who are your favorite characters? Like, rank the characters, stuff like that, like I normally do at the end of Tales of games. I'm probably gonna put Hubert in, like, last place, and people are gonna be like, why did you put Hubert at last? I'm gonna be like, remember when I talked about how they didn't show his growth very well? It just kind of, like, happened, and there it was? That's one of the big reasons. So, with that moment that was happening right there, with him pretty much saying, like, Asbel, I want you to be the Lord of Lhant, like, I've gotten over the grudge I had on you, let's bury the hatchet and all, it seemed like a good time to bring it up.
It's important to feel compassion for others if you wish to save them. That is a lesson I learned too late. It's why I couldn't save Kurt. I don't want you to face that same regret.
Captain.
Never lose hope, Asbel. We can do this. We will do this.
If Coffee Daddy says it's so, then it is so.
Let's just make sure everyone comes back safely.
Yes, sir.